usually so insecure and desperate for
attention from older guys is totally flattering. They're so much more mature and understanding than the guys my age.
Age actually works to my advantage. They like to brag to their friends that they're dating an older guy, so I just play along and pretend I'm really interested.
In the same things I am. You can talk forever and really get to know someone without worrying about looks or whatever. That's the best thing about
chatting. Seems unthreatening to them, so they lower their guard. After a while, I start talking about how we're soulmates and how lucky we are to have found each other.
Other people don't understand. I know what I'm doing. If you really care about each other, there's nothing wrong with me.
Meeting them is the goal. Once I get them out of their house, well, that's when things get really interesting.
Online predators know what they're doing. Do you?
That is exactly what I deal with on a daily basis. The people who are trying to prey on your children, they have an endless supply of victims. The internet did not create predators, it did not create people who victimize children. It's just given them a much greater opportunity and pretty much an endless supply of victims. There's also most of the people who get arrested for crimes such as these, it turns out that they are soliciting dozens of kids. I'm just going to go through some of the speaking points while I try to roll the videos, hopefully get straightened out. Some of the statistics that I would speak about. There was a 2000 study that most of these presentation is based on, and there was a follow-up study in 2005. In 2000, they estimated that there were approximately 30 million kids using the internet. That figure is probably doubled by now. And there are roughly 1 in 5 kids are exposed to some unwanted sexual solicitation or explicit pictures. So if you think of 1 out of every 5 kids, and we're talking about 30 or 50 or 60 million kids, the numbers are staggering. The amount of kids who are aggressively solicited, which means they have received phone calls to their home, mail, gifts, money, plane tickets, bus tickets sent to them, is about 3%. But again, if you think 3% of 50 or 60 million children throughout this country, you kind of get an idea of the problem that is presenting us. While we're waiting for some of the video to come up, I'll go through some of the other stuff my brother was not going to mention. In terms of some of the things that your children can be exposed to, one of the most common things is pornography. I don't know about teenage boys, but most teenage girls are not actively seeking that out. It's something that they come across on a routine basis. Another thing is anything that you would encounter that would upset you or be a risk to your child in the real world, they're going to find that on the internet as well. So hate groups, racism, drugs, alcohol, anything that you could order as an adult in real life, kids can order on the internet. Prostitution is also there is a large degree of prostitution rings that are run through the internet. How many people here use the website Craigslist? Heard of it? Some of you. That's one of the largest sources of prostitution. A tremendous amount of ads are placed on a daily basis, including pictures. You wouldn't think in such a mainstream website or service, but I have one case where there were actually nude pictures of a 14-year-old girl that were posted on the website. Also one of the things that if you're looking to protect your kids, you can install filtering and monitoring software. Any kind of software that you install, there are ways to get around it on the internet as well. And most of you kids will probably have a good idea of how to do that. next video that's going to play, and if part of it is off-center, it's more the words that are important than the actual graphics. What you're going to hear is the real live voice of a 13-year-old girl who ended up running away and spending a couple of weeks living with a 56-year-old man.
The internet, it's a tool that has to be used properly. You know, it's like a knife. I mean, it's very helpful, but it can also cut you. My name is Julie. When I was 13, I started talking to Tom. He didn't act or even sound like a 56-year-old man. So he was different on the computer. I knew that I wasn't supposed to be talking to him, but I did it out of a retaliation against my parents. It felt nice to have somebody who wasn't always trying to tell you what to do. It started to get more like a relationship where it went from just friends to best friends, more personal relationship than best friends. I would instant message him between 3 and 6 hours a day. I was really upset whenever I couldn't get on the internet because I knew that he would be like, what were you doing? And he emailed me like 10 times wondering where I was at. Then you feel like extremely bad about it. It was an opportunity for him to manipulate more. I trusted him more than anybody else. He mentioned, wouldn't it be nice if we were together all the time? And then the thought came up of running away. The night I left, I kissed all my brothers goodnight, and he was in his truck, and we just rode out. I ran away for 3 weeks. The day that I was found, we were on our way to Reno. Somebody reported us and saw our truck. I knew pretty much it's over, and I never really thought the day would come. He's going to be in jail for 25 years. He sent a letter to me saying that it was my fault and that he was going to kill me if he ever got out of jail. I was really upset because he didn't say anything about caring about me. I didn't think of his background and I didn't apply it to myself, and so maybe he could have done anything to me, even killed me. And so, you know, now that I'm back, I feel like there's this huge emptiness inside of me. If I could have talked to people, maybe I would have had a different view on some things. If you're planning to run away, it doesn't help solve anything. If it does anything, it makes it worse. Little things can end up becoming a big thing. I kind of wish that I never would have run away in the first place. I would never do it again.
This is one of the type of videos that we play to like middle-aged and high school kids. I went to a conference last year, and there was a speaker who had been kidnapped when she was age 13. She was in college when she was speaking to us. And she said that the best way to get our message across to kids who are in middle school and high school is to scare the life out of them. And while I don't think we do that, the idea behind the videos that we present to middle-aged